So I'm Jason Kelley, General Manager for blockchain for IBM globally. So I'm responsible for the blockchain services business, and a lot of fun it is. I'm not here to talk to you about IBM's blockchain, regardless of what my shirt says. I'm here to talk to you and talk with you in more of a conversation about what our clients are seeing in the market. And this is across fintech, this is across the market. What the hell is this blockchain thing that everyone's talking about? What are we seeing? And I was fortunate enough to be at one of the prior fintech events. Anyone at one of those, have I talked to anybody here before? I got one hand, so good. I can make up a lot of stuff now, so we haven't spoken before. So good. And that was quite a while back at the beginning of the year, I believe. And a lot has happened then because we know this is moving at such a fast pace. The title of this conversation, and it's on this slide, and I hate slides, but I'm supposed to use them. It's kind of like PowerPoint. There's no power, there's no point, if you've heard that joke before. So instead, let's focus here where it says rewire your business with blockchain. I use it purposely because one of the CEOs that I was working with recently, that was the objective. He said, Jason, I want to rewire my business with blockchain. What's wrong with wiring now? And why the hell blockchain? Who cares? Maybe it doesn't fit. And by the way, I'm not an electrician, so I can't rewire your business. So as I'm talking to you, keep in mind I'm giving you feedback from the industry. Multiple industries, globally. And so I'm somewhat, biased because I'm part of a 107-year-old startup. That's what we are. We've reinvented our business to be a cloud-based platform business. Within blockchain, I could go, it becomes a talking head, 35 plus active networks, over 500 clients. I think if we look at it's 450 on this slide, so it's out of date. This is what I'm talking to you about. This isn't me talking about IBM, I'm talking about the client. So this is a quick snapshot. I'll blow through this because I only have like 15 minutes, so I got to talk really quickly. And this is where I talk slow at the beginning, then I speed up so you can get to your break. But before the break, maybe take 5 minutes and do some questions. So hold on tight. Let's move quickly. The first point is it takes all of you as an ecosystem, regardless of where you're playing in fintech, regardless of what solutions you're working on. The question we always have to start is, what will we solve together? Now, I know when I wasn't with IBM and they came into my office, all 15 salespeople at once, and said, what can we solve? Oh, hell, you're really big. I don't know what we can solve together. That's why I started with, we're a 107-year-old startup. Having been a startup at one point, it takes a different team, and blockchain is a team sport, to execute in this environment. You can't go out as one single player, regardless of how big or small you are, and win with blockchain. It's distributed. It starts with DLT, distributed, which infers that it's a distributed team of players working together. So it's an ecosystem. You here, along with me and whomever else we're going to team with, getting things done together. So that's where it starts. And many have started. So is it real? Is it happening? Yes. We go back 2 years and everyone was experimenting. Last year was where people were doing tests and tries. Now it's in production. 2/3 of those clients that we work with globally, they're doing something. And let's think about what some of them are doing. Some of them are leading the way. They're the trailblazers. They're out in front. However, there's many of those, based on a study with Deloitte and GitHub, that said, look, of the 26,000 just a year ago, projects that were started, 92% of them are done. Why is that? Were they bad ideas? No. There's all these wonderful ideas. Think of them like sports cars. There's these Ferraris and wonderful, you think of the most exotic sports car you could, Formula One car sitting on the side of the road, out of gas. wonderful ideas but didn't have the support, or maybe they were running after the wrong thing. Maybe they believe the hype. How many people believe blockchain's hype? Come on, quit lying. The light's in my eyes, but you're lying to yourself. Is blockchain being hyped or not? There you go. Come on, I'm convincing more. More hands are going up, right? If I keep asking, you'll just raise your hand so you go on break. I got you. So there is hype. There is a lot of hype because people are focused on the wrong thing. It's back to this rewire your business. They're focused on the technology and not the outcome. They are running, whomever they are, and they are the clients talking to us and probably to some of you. They're running after these things, called POCs. Who's familiar with POC? It's come on, I know you want that coffee break. It's a proof of concept, right? So proof of concept. And then there's the famous POV, which is a point of view is one, or proof of value. So they've already asked, proof of concept. Is it a concept? No, it's real. People are using blockchain. Does it add value? Yes. So why are you going to do that? And as one C-suite exec told me just a month ago, so I stole his thought and put it here. He said, Jason, we ran after a POI. Who knows what that is? It's a proof of incompetence. He said, well, we ran after something that we knew it was cool technology and we wanted to show that it worked, and guess what? It worked. We knew it added value, but we had to show it added, and we wasted almost $1 million. So don't think about the word, think about what it does, speeding up. Don't bring about block pain. If you've heard me talk, I use this, it's very corny. The next two slides are not funny, but laugh so that I feel like you're connecting with me. So it's block pain. When you have block pain, because you focused on the word, people end up pointing at each other, which turns into a lot of block blame, and in the end, you get block shame. So thanks for the gratuitous laugh. That's what happens. That's what we're seeing. These are, of course, funnies that aren't mine. I stole them from our clients. In fact, if you start with the outcome, by design, forget the word, and this is what we're seeing. If you walk in and talk blockchain, people will listen to you. As a matter of fact, they might even pay you to do something. But what we're seeing, success comes by design if you start with the outcome first. And then you say, what does this capability do for me? Is it simple? Can it be simple? And now it is shameless because it's on my shirt. Yes, it can be, because we all know the outcome. This isn't where I explain blockchain. That's a different presentation, and I never give it. So let's think about it in context. Why is it so simple? Because it's the end state that we're running after. The end state says that all of us are consumers, and there's levers that can be pulled for consumers with blockchain. It's that simple. It's simple in that blockchain is all this wonderful technology that you can put behind the black curtain. It does two things. It delivers two things that we have not been able to deliver until blockchain, until 8 years ago, which is access to data, and in doing that in a permissioned way, trusted. And when you get to the data, that access is then given to accurate data, quality. So access and data quality. It's that simple. That's what you get when you get provenance as an outcome. That's what you get when you get secure ID as an outcome. That's what you get when you get secure documentation. Those two things, it's that simple. And in fact, if we just think of all the steps from source all the way to consumer, there are all those handshakes. And we all know that the value of blockchain is in trusted transactions. So you can get rid of all of those intermediaries. And as you do that, you add trust to the system, because that's what we're after as consumers, because we're not that trusting, I don't think, are we? Or maybe we are. How many people consume organic food? I just had some fair trade coffee in the back. Let's stay awake here. Go ahead, raise your hands. You know you do. You pay that extra pound or that extra euro, right? Little known fact, there's more organic food consumed than is produced. You trust the system. We're just adding trust back into the system. So, simple answer, and I'm going to run through this because I'm now at 5 minutes, I'm really going to fly. So, when you're talking to your clients, when you ask, what do you want? They all want to go after the bright, shiny thing. If you just start with a simple question. Now, this is where we have to go fast, so stay with me. If I ask you, what's a pet that many children have? It's in a bowl, doesn't require oxygen, sometimes it's orange in color. It's aquatic.
Trump.
Oh, Trump. That was really good. It's orange. That's really good. I get extra minutes for that one. It's aquatic, often in a bowl. Goldfish. See, I knew we're good. We're good. It's goldfish. All right. So now let's work it again. Animal could be in a barn, could have a saddle. Little kid could ride. A little kid with a cowboy hat, maybe. Pony, horse. You're on a roll, right? It should be that simple with this thing called blockchain, but if you talk blockchain with your client, it could be something else. And even worse, it could be something else. It's the same answer. It's in a barn, it has a saddle, a kid's on it, and they're wearing a cowboy hat. So guess what? We just got the right answer in a sense, but in the wrong way. It's simple. It's not simple. It takes design. This is part of the fun. It's not about the technology. 80% of the challenge is the business process and the business challenge and the outcome being defined properly at the beginning. That is the secret of blockchain. I'm not telling you that. This is different from what I talked to FinTech, 8 months ago. This is what we're seeing as being difficult. Now, solve this challenge across not one client, but 10 clients coming together in a founding consortium. Each one of them is asking that first question. Oh, it has 4 legs, it's in a barn. One sees a sheep, one sees an elephant, one sees a horse. And then try and convince them that they're all seeing something differently. It's not easy. That has become the challenge of blockchain. That's the challenge in getting started. Getting this common view and not running after a use case, but running after an outcome. That's what we know to be true. Every time, without exception. So, don't do the wrong thing right because you'll get more wrong. Instead, you may want to do the right thing wrong once or twice, fall off the horse, and then get back on. Then you have chances of being more right versus right and doing the wrong thing. So, simple play on words, but you get it.
The following is a demonstration of how IBM and Maersk are partnering to digitize and simplify global trade using blockchain to create trust and transparency in the supply chain. Global trade functions much as it has since the introduction of the shipping container in 1956. Manual, paper-based processes are still common, and information about the status of goods is locked away in organizational silos. Today, 90% of goods in global trade are carried by the shipping industry, with the supply chain slowed by the complexity and sheer volume of point-to-point communication across a loosely coupled web of land transportation providers, freight forwarders, customs brokers, governments, ports, and ocean carriers. IBM and Maersk are addressing this problem with a distributed, permission platform accessible by the supply chain ecosystem designed to exchange event data and handle document workflows. The collaboration will launch with the potential ability to track millions of container journeys per year and integrate with customs authorities on selected trade lanes. In a recent test by Maersk, shipping a single container of flowers from Kenya to the port of Rotterdam resulted in a stack of nearly 200 communications. Here we can see each distinct entity involved in the transaction: the growers, export authorities, ports, customs, and importers. Shipping from the port of Mombasa requires signatures from 3 different agencies approving the export and 6 documents that describe the origin, chemical treatments, quality of the produce, and customs duties. Firstly, using a PC or mobile device, the Kenyan farm submits a packing list that becomes visible to all participants. This action initiates a smart contract that enforces an export approval workflow between the 3 agencies. As each agency signs, the status is updated for all to see. Simultaneously, information about the inspection of the flowers, the sealing of the refrigerated container, the pickup by the trucker, and the approval from customs is communicated to the Port of Mombasa, allowing them to prepare for the container. Blockchain provides secure data exchange and a tamper-proof repository for these documents and shipping events. This system could significantly reduce delays and fraud, saving billions of dollars annually. Please visit IBM.
So, very quickly, you look at that one example of trade and the trusted transactions, the outcome is the trust in the transaction. It mentions 200 documents that ultimately went to 20 once they put it on the blockchain. Think of that global trade tied into what also happens with trade finance, to finance that trade, and also consumer trade. All of the companies' logos are ones that we're working with. And think of how complex that is to get that to work together, and then think about their ecosystems that have to play together as well. That is the challenge of pulling it together. So, as I close, what do you need? What's the summary? First, the outcomes. Make sure that as you work, you're delivering that technical expertise. Start with design. Start with the outcome first, and then it's a team sport. Play together, all of us, to bring ecosystem value together for the outcomes of our clients. With that, I'm a few minutes over, so no time for questions. I'll be walking around very quickly here before I jump on an airplane, so hopefully I'll get to talk to you. Thanks, and great to be here. You all take care.
That was terrific.